So it's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning here. We've been waiting for it to get light enough for us to walk. I think we're about ready to go. So more later.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How you going? So it's Saturday morning here in Spain. It's actually
20 to 9.
20 to 9 because we couldn't leave any earlier because it just doesn't get light here with the time difference. We hadn't factored that in. We normally get up at 6, breakfast at 7, on the road at 7:30. And we did that today and looked out of the window at 7:30 and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And the first little bit of our walk takes us along the side of the highway. And we didn't want to be walking that in the dark. So here we are. So
we have to readjust our thinking
yeah,
for the next 5 days or however, that we won't be getting in at like 3 o'clock like we do in May. And that, it's just time and it's different and that's it.
Yeah, so you probably already know, we might have mentioned it, but Spain is the wrong time zone. I think Franco changed it to be like Germany and Italy, and it's an hour wrong. That's why it's just so dark at 8:30 in the morning. So today we're going to walk through Bayona. I'll just pause for a minute while a cyclist comes along. Okay, we're back again. Yeah, we're walking to Bayona. Hopefully I'll have a cup of coffee for breakfast and then on to Vigo today. But it's going to be quite hot today, I think. 28, 26, yeah.
Like that.
So we like to get a few Ks done early in the morning. Okay guys, more soon.
Bye.
So the Senda Litoral, the coastal path through Bayona, is
Beautiful.
pretty exotic.
Lovely.
And I think it's going to be like this all the way to Vigo if we stay on the Senda Litoral, which we hope to do. The Camino coastal people are up there in the hills slogging it out. Now they might be a bit quicker than us, but there's an awful lot of Camino people on this path today. Okay, Saturday morning underway. We think this beach is called American Beach. So yeah, definitely some coastal walking today.
This is beautiful. Like this.
Yes. We're getting real by the beach experience this morning. So just up there in that town we cut across to the next beach, and I think that's what we're going to be doing twice more to get to Vigo. So bring it on. Look at that Australian pilgrim in front. She's no day at the beach. Or is she?
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like the islands.
Beautiful. some bits actually take you down onto the sand and then back up again, so following the arrows. Okay, up we go. So this part of the coastal Camino where you're walking along the side of the road for a few k's between two towns is not the funnest bit of the walk. So it's pushing 29 degrees, hot as, and there is no other path. You've just got to keep following the sender littoral, as they call it. But I've got to tell you, there's parts of this walk that are just grit your teeth and go on a hot day.
Yep. This is quite common in Spain. It usually indicates a wedding, but it scares you when it first starts happening.
Okay, so we've just arrived at the Ipanema Hotel in Vigo, and the lady who checked us in said, "You'll be very happy, I've given you a big room." No, not a big room, the biggest room. So that looks like some sort of a sitting area and a generously sized bedroom with a veranda. Yep, that'll do us for tonight. So we're in Vigo and we hadn't realised it's a big city. It's a long way across, and it's about 20 past 8 and we're waiting for somewhere to open to have tea because places don't open till 8:30. Oh, the lights have just come on where we're waiting. We could be in with a show.
We have lights.
So have a look at Lynn's Fitbit trace that'll come up just after this. When we started walking this morning from Bayona, we were on the path along the side of the Atlantic, the Sender Littoral, but the path was in good condition. And for the 7 or 8 kilometres from Mougas back all the way into Bayona, we cruised along at 5 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, I actually commented to Michael that it was the first time the Fitbit had been saying that we were in the low 12-minute odd for a kilometre, the average.
Yeah. So then after Bayona and the Sender Littoral pathway started then cutting in and out and up and down, and our pace dropped right off. So the one thing I would say we probably miscalculated, the paces that we're able to walk on the Francais, anywhere else we've walked, you can't do that on the Sender Littoral,
No.
especially in heat wave conditions. Anyway, that's just something we observed. Okay, so we waited till 8:30 to come into the restaurant to order our meal, and there's no one here except us. Now, probably at 9:30 or 10 o'clock on a Saturday night it'll go off, but 8:30 on a Saturday night, there's no one. Still getting used to that. Okay, so today we walked from where we were staying just out of Mougas, right around the top of the Atlantic coast, which I guess is the southern western tip of Spain, all the way into Bayona. And you would have seen some shots. We left as soon as it got light in the morning.
Yeah, we were hanging out for it to get light.
And for the first 7-10 kilometres we cruised along, and then the Sender Littoral path that we were following via the GPS route took us uphill and down dale. The straight line distance between A and B might have been a kilometre, and we were doing 1.8 kilometres because the pathway was taking us weird places. it would backtrack on itself and take you down onto a beach. At one stage, we walked onto a beach where there were lots of semi-naked couples of women.
Yeah, that we just had to walk past. It was great.
It was like, excuse me, ladies, but we...
Yeah, sorry.
But the path and it was bizarre. And we went past nudist beaches and all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
Where they were showering after their swim as we were walking past.
Sorry, guys, Buen Camino.
Yes.
But the bottom line of all of that is we got to the outskirts of Vigo. It was after 4:30, wasn't it?
Yeah.
4:30, and I probably because I didn't plan correctly, I had a look at the map and I said to Lynn, to get from the outskirts of Vigo to where we're staying is going to take us another 2 hours minimum. It's a huge sprawling city. I didn't realise that. So we really got knocked about today by the distances and the times.
And the last few days. So that affected today.
Yeah, but anyway, we got here, nice hotel. You would have seen in the video when we booked in, the lady said, I'll give you a big room. No, it's the biggest room.
Yeah, we've got a suite.
I don't know why that
You
was.
would call it a suite,
For 54 euros.
Yeah, we've got a lounge room and a bedroom.
Yeah. So we ended up at the end of the day pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, so arriving in Vigo, we think that's the end of the Portuguese coastal Camino, but the Senda littoral coast path.
Yes.
Because we're off the coast now. Yes. So tomorrow we head to Redondela, and then soon after that, all of the coastal path and the central path join to take us into Santiago.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on, like we're up to day 7, any thoughts on the Senda littoral?
I really liked it at times, a lot of times, but it did cause us some grief as far as being very difficult.
Yeah, and difficult in as much as we've walked Camino Francés 5 times. We walked Via Francigena, we walked in Japan. We just weren't able to get to grips with the distances and the paths. I mean, walking along beautiful boardwalks next to the Atlantic, and then the boardwalk falls into disarray and then rots and disappears, and now you're trudging along in sand with no route markers
and then you're in farmland.
Yeah, so, that sort of thing is not good. And walking along pathways along the Atlantic where there's a really, really good pathway along the highway, but the Camino arrows then divert you off that pathway down into a gully with
no reason.
And there's nothing there. Like, it's not a church, there's not a reason. It's just someone said, oh, this would be a great place. So that kind of...
It interfered with our timing of how long it was going to take us to get from A to B.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing that we would have been highlighted in today's video, when you walk into towns which cater for peregrinos, for people walking the Camino, they serve pilgrim meals at reasonable hours. Now, we showed you in tonight's, the earliest we could get in to have a meal in Vigo was 8:30. And so we've lobbed into there, had a really lovely meal. And when we left at 9:30, we were the only people in there. There's not a huge restaurant that will probably seat 60 people. Now, whether they all come at 10 o'clock or not, but...
And I know we're in Spain and we have to respect the culture.
Sure.
But most times where we go, we can jigger some restaurant or another that caters for us.
Yeah, so those sort of things, they're just purely our lack of understanding of where we were.
Yes.
So, if we'd have researched better...
Yeah, it's probably our fault more than anything else.
But I will say we watched an awful lot of people's YouTube...
Yeah, because that's what we do. We research YouTube clips a lot.
And I can't remember anybody's comments or YouTube vlog that show you the not so good parts of walking the Camino Portugués. So just be aware there are some sections which are really difficult. And
it wasn't just us. We've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people were struggling yesterday and today.
Yeah, with distances and the other thing is it's unseasonably hot,
which is added to it.
which hasn't helped.
No.
But when it's unseasonably hot and there are no places to stop and have a drink, that makes it difficult.
Yeah.
Which in France there are places. So
France?
On the Francais there are places.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've enjoyed what we've seen so far. The Atlantic is gorgeous.
Oh.
Countryside.
And we love the ocean.
Yeah, and Portuguese people very friendly and hospitable.
Yes.
And we'll now blend over the next 4 or 5 days with the other Caminos in Portugal to head to Santiago. So more from us later.
Bye.
See you guys.